Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel, everyone. Got Lanny, Bert, the Dividend Diplomats. Last week, we took a week off of being together, but we're back, baby. Get ready to roll here.
The band is back. Smash that subscribe button. Give Bert, the Hurt, and Lanny a nice thumbs up. We're here to talk to you about the dividend stock purchases that both Bert and myself on what we made during the week of September 7th. Obviously not September 6th because it was Labor Day, but we really put a lot of capital to work, staying consistently invested in the stock market. And hey, we had a little bit of red during the week, especially on the tail end of Friday, September 10th. So hopefully you put your money to work buying income producing assets.
That's right. And hopefully you did more than me at the end of the week, because I didn't actually buy anything at the end of the week. My purchases were all front loaded. So I didn't take advantage of it, but I'm getting ready for Monday and Tuesday next week to just continue pouring my cash. And then hopefully we'll have a nice, exciting purchase video the following week where I'll give you a better update.
But hey, was your cash doing something better than sitting on the sidelines?
It was, yeah. So we were able to buy some stock, which you're going to see here. Something's better than nothing, and we're still getting the powder ready for the next week. So we're excited.
Getting that powder ready, really lacing up the shoes, B2A, let's go. I'll probably kick things off since my list looks like it's a little bit longer than yours for this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're finally in a reverse order because I think the last time we did a video on the stock purchases, you had much more than I did.
Yes, yep. Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's right. So why don't you dive in? Why don't you start? I mean, I know Lanny and I each have our weekly purchase strategies. So do you want to kick that off and tell us? It's been a few weeks since we...
Yeah, let's do the weekly strategies.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's been a few weeks since we've heard about your weekly purchases and the prices. So why don't you give us an update to see how it's progressing?
Well, as you guys know, and if you don't already, myself and my wife, we each buy 3 shares of Vanguard's high dividend yield ETF, VYM. We buy shares of this stock / ETF each week, and we've been doing so now for about 14 months, since July of 2020. The reason being is because it has a great combination of dividend yield plus dividend growth. And again, given any sort of uncertainty in the stock market, this allows us to stay consistently invested, adding dividend income to the portfolio, and income that grows each and every year. So this week it wasn't any different. On Monday, my wife and I each bought 3 shares of Vanguard's ETF, VYM. She actually got it at a better price than I did at $107.35, which I'm happy that it's finally come back below $108 per share where it was. And actually, it's now in the $105 territory entering the week of September 13th. So keep an eye out for VYM. I bought 3 shares at $107.47. So in total, we actually doled out total capital of over $644, added approximately $18 in forward dividend income at an average yield of 2.79%.
Fantastic.
Oof.
The consistency is key. This strategy's been going on for over a year now, and the results are really starting to show. We may have to have an update video coming in a few weeks here, Lanny, because
we'll do the big update on how large the position of Vanguard is in this portfolio, because yes, it is just rolling dividends, and I cannot wait until that Q3 dividend announcement from Vanguard on their mutual funds and exchange traded funds, or ETFs.
Let's see if it was better than Q2.
Come on.
Yeah, so that was Lanny's weekly purchase. My wife and I also started about 6 months ago purchasing 1 share each of Johnson & Johnson. We love the Dividend King with the perfect PE ratio between 16 to 18 consistently, the perfect dividend payout ratio as well. At the time of the purchase, you're gonna see a trend that was similar to what Lanny just highlighted for VYM. On Monday, we each purchased a share right at the market open at $174.35. So each one of those added $4.24 to our portfolio. So in total, $8.48 here for Johnson & Johnson. The key though is, at the end of the week, the stock price ended at $166.97. It's been a while since Johnson & Johnson's been in the 160. So I'm actually getting very excited that our Monday purchase is gonna be much lower, help us bring down that cost basis. And maybe if it continues to fall, we might sprinkle in a few more shares of Johnson & Johnson during the week if it ever touches at 160 or below.
Tell you what, I was surprised, and what we'll find in this video, that you didn't buy more J&J towards the end of the week.
Yes, no, I know that was a miss by me at the end of the week, but there's always next week, so it is what it is. We'll keep working towards next week.
It is what it is.
Yeah, unfortunately, I ran out of time to buy stock on Friday, but You said you have a longer list here, Lanny. Those are our weekly purchases. Again, every week you're going to see them. Why don't we jump into the next stock you purchased, Lanny, because you were also busy on the Tuesday, the first day of trading here.
I tell you what, I was busy from Tuesday all the way through Friday on this dividend growth stock.
Yeah, there's a company that we've been featuring a lot on our YouTube channel recently. It's been on Lanny's watch list for what feels like a year now.
That's right. It's been about a year. No, it's not AT&T stock, so don't you worry. No, it's not, your typical accidental high yielders like Altria or Philip Morris. No, we're talking about Verizon Communications, ticker symbol VZ. Again, Warren Buffett, I'm trying to catch up to you and your $8 billion investment into Verizon stock, the 5G winner, but I'm still climbing my way towards 100 shares, and I did hit it. So give this video a thumbs up if you're pumped that I hit the 100 shares in total of Verizon this week. Give us a thought in the comments below about how many shares you have or you want to have with Verizon. This total week I actually purchased 9 shares of Verizon stock, which tipped me into the 100 share territory. The first day I bought it was September 7th at $54.84. Then I bought it throughout the week on Thursday and Friday, the lowest price being $54.44.
Man, that price just continues to fall and hang tight in the low 50s for Verizon.
So I invested approximately $491.25 over the course of the week. Again, for the 9 shares that I did buy, adding again total dividends of $22.59 going forward from my Verizon snowball that I have built. The yield is approximately 4.59% overall on the Verizon purchase. Again, you're looking at a very extreme premium on the yield to the overall stock market.
Fantastic. Nice job. Congrats on crossing 100.
I did it, man.
You did it. Hey, they're the official 5G provider of the NFL. I saw that big news, the headline there.
Contract,
yeah,
I think.
Won't be cheap for Verizon, but it'll be cool to see how they can integrate Verizon, their 5G, and all of the big NFL events and how much brand awareness that will give them.
And when you actually think about, again, owning 100 shares, we won't get into like writing options on the positions that you own, but again, $251 going forward snowball I have, which again equates to over $60 per quarter in dividends. Reinvested equals at least 1 share.
That's fantastic, Lanny. So why don't you move in here? You had a few more purchases to highlight here. Why don't you highlight the other quick hitter, the one other stock that's been in your portfolio?
Yes.
Another company that's been featured on the watch list here over the last few months. Why don't you tell us here?
Again, we're talking about the Pfizer spinoff of their Upjohn business with Mylan, the company that was created in Q4 of 2020. That company is Viatra, ticker symbol VTRS. There's a consistent theme here between Bert and Lanny from the Diplomats here is that we put our cash where our mouth is. And, I've been talking about Viatris, building up that position as well. So this week I purchased a total of 7 shares on Friday, September 10th. I should have waited maybe until the end of the day to get it at the lowest price.
In the long run, that's not going to matter.
No. And it only cost me $98.42 for the 7 shares. Again, adding $3 whole in forward income at an average yield of about 3.13% when you actually total and average it out. Again, averaging, 7 more shares to my Viatris position. This position itself is also growing. I have actually over 110 plus shares now of Viatris.
There you go. It's not quite the same market value as Verizon, but
it is not.
But what's nice about Viatris is too, they didn't just spin off some of their poor performing assets, kind of like what AT&T did with DirecTV.
AT&T did what?
Yeah. Well, they should never have bought.
What happened with DirecTV? What happened with Warner
Its
Media?
own company. Yeah. Well, we all know that story, and if not, check the videos here to see them. But Viatris has some of the best legacy brands between Pfizer. So it's the slow growing. It's not the big flashy new R&D here in the pharmaceutical sector. They have the legacy brands that are just cash cows, and that's why we like Viatris and we'll continue buying the spinoff. And they have a yield of over 3% too, which is a nice treat.
I'm looking forward to dividend growth with Viatris. Again, like you said, Viagra, Xanax, and a bunch of other brands they have in their portfolio.
Yeah, so let's end this though We're finally caught up to my last purchase for the week, or I should say my wife's last purchase. Lanny also bought this stock here.
I did.
And guess what, everybody? If you've been following our YouTube channel for the last week, this really should not be a surprise to you of what company Lanny and I started scooping up.
Did you buy the dip, baby?
We did buy the dip. We featured this company that is a yielding of over 4.5%. Their price has continued to fall in the last few weeks, and it continues sliding as news trickles out. That company is Abbvie, ticker symbol ABBV. What triggered the downside here? They had some run-ins with some of their new medications, some new additional FDA issued some warnings, some new labels are going to need to be presented on some of the risks. We're not minimizing the risks. They're obviously significant, but that's what's causing the stock price to slide, along with others in the industry that offer the same kind of medication. In the long run, though, we still like Abbvie. We ran them through our stock screener. We like their metrics. Their PE's below 10. They still have that perfect payout ratio. So there's still plenty of room to grow the dividend. Yeah, it's phenomenal. So on Tuesday, not Monday, because the market was closed on Tuesday, we added one share to my wife's portfolio at $110.45. Then on Wednesday, September 8th, the price slid a little bit more. 3 shares were added at $109.67. And in total, for my wife, we added $20.80 of dividend income with an average yield of just around 4.73%. However, I probably should have waited more towards the end of the week, but it's okay.
There's up for this week.
Yep, going to be their money to keep picking up because they are now
the comeback is stronger than the setback, baby.
Yeah, what was that tweet you threw out yesterday, Lanny? It's at 106.
It's under 107 now, so definitely hot on the stock watch list. Keep that on your stock radars.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Lanny, what about you? What did you do?
I was in the same boat. On Tuesday, September 7th, I picked up 3 shares of Abbvie, ticker symbol ABBV as well. Doled out almost $330, adding $15.60 at an average yield of 4.74%.
Phenomenal. As Lanny mentioned earlier, just reemphasize, we put our money where our mouth is. We find undervalued stocks and we will buy them too. We're not just talking about them for the sake of doing them. We are always hunting for these stocks.
They call me Lanny, Jim Cramer. That's what it's all about.
Don't think I've heard anyone call you that.
We almost have the same hairstyle.
But to summarize here, let me just run through in total. We just added Johnson & Johnson and Abbvie to my wife's portfolio. We added $788.16 to our portfolio this week. The dividend income was $29.28 for an average yield of 3.71%. What about you, Lanny? What about you and your wife?
Well, we invested in total over just 1 week, which is pretty incredible. We'll see if we can keep this pace up. It's going to be hard, but we invested $1,563.50 and added $59.27 in forward income at an average yield of actually 3.79%.
Phenomenal. Congrats. It's a huge amount of money, huge amount of income. In total, the two of us added nearly $90 in dividend income between our families for there. So didn't quite get to 100. We lagged a little bit in our purchases, but we're going to come back roaring next week to continue buying those income producing assets.
Hey, let us know what stock purchases you were buying this past week. Let us know what stocks to buy right now that are on your radar. We'll have more videos throughout this week because obviously when the stock market and the S&P shows red, we're bringing you more stock news.
And if you also want throughout the week too to see what stocks we're buying, I'd just suggest clicking the link below and following our Twitter handle too, because we're always talking about our purchases throughout the week. We're also giving some of these, what stocks are you buying? We're asking the community too. So it's always an interesting follow if you want to see throughout the week what we're doing.
And if you haven't already, definitely give the video a nice thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. That was Bert and this is Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats.
Over and out.